X's and O's with Leroy Butler. Now, here's Tom Silverstein.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to X's and O's with Leroy Butler. And we're heading into the Jacksonville week, but we wouldn't be doing this game justice if we didn't go back and look at some plays from last week that were interesting. One of them could at least roll over into this game because Jacksonville's looking at all the tape.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll go on because you like to be so positive and I like to be so negative. We'll go positive first, just for you. All right.
This is a good design play by Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, it is. It is. You really have to give the coaches a lot of credit on this one because, like I was saying to you earlier, I would have saved this play for a really crucial moment in the season because it's so good that if you got in at a 2-point conversion or whatever, this would be the perfect game-winning play. Anyway,
I got more plays. Don't worry.
They're on the 1-yard line and they've got their 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 tight ends to the right, and Aaron Jones in the backfield. And it looks like San Francisco's in a goal line defense. And they're really playing with 1 corner and 3 safeties, I believe. And this might be a corner. Anyway, what we'll see next is, and then we can get you going on this, is Valdes-Scantling goes in motion. And what does that do? What we see on the tape is that Jimmy Ward, the safety over here, if I can get my marker to work, right here, makes a signal over to 29 and lets Scantling go down. So what is going on there?
Well, the one thing about it is if nobody moved with him, Aaron Rodgers says either combination of man or combination zone. So I think we may have the coverage that we want. All this does is just create an illusion. Mm-hmm. All this action stuff, and we'll get into that later, to create an illusion. But one thing you want to say, the safeties are saying, if for some reason Scantling runs fast to the flat, we're saying you got to cover him.
You got him, right?
You got him. But if he comes and come back in the inside, I can give you some help with some of the 3 guys.
Okay.
So that way it eliminates the thinking part of it. And I remember, Tom, the 49ers are used to this offense. They are. Right. They see it all the time. But what they're not used to is this personnel or this particular play. That's why it works so well.
Right. And so what's going to happen is Valdes-Scantling is actually going to stop here, line up, and then he's going to come back. And that's when all the action to this play.
Yeah.
So here we go, and you get a feel for exactly what's going on. So I don't know if this is the old triple option, but you really see like 3 different things going on here.
Right.
What's the most important thing that it's doing? To me, it seems like it's keeping everybody in place here.
Well, yeah, and they have to guess. They have to guess. To remember, Aaron Jones is in the game. Remember, he was coming in the game. It's going to be like a pitch count. So when he's in the game, the high probability that they run this particular play, they will bring 85 over and trap this guy. Right. And they give it to Aaron Jones. He pick his hole and try to score, but they didn't do that. But here's the thing that was pretty unique. They bring Scantling back around, okay? That's a lot of action, so somebody has to go. Yeah. And that's what Green Bay's hoping. Because what you want to do is try to isolate Mercedes Lewis backside on a linebacker or a DB. So all this stuff is just all smoke and mirrors, okay? But they do have a play where they have a play to where they'll bring Tunyon over. He stops. He fakes it. Tunyon will fake like he's blocking, and then he'll release, and then you bring Devontae in the middle. So it's almost like a bootleg on both sides. Mm-hmm. In your film study, you would say, okay, the least guy that can hurt me in this spot is the backside tight end. That's the one guy that cannot hurt me. That's why it works.
Okay. And so we go to the next one. And now this is where
The one that hurt you.
it's amazing that what makes this play amazing is that, okay, here you've got Scantling, and really you could dump it to him, and then all he's got to do is race this guy to the corner, and I would guess he could beat him, don't you?
Oh, no question. Yeah.
Then the other one is you got this wide open guy over here, but then let's say this guy covered him. There's another option. Why don't you show what that is?
Yep. Well, if he, for some reason, he'd say you got him covered.
Mm-hmm.
You love this matchup right here with Devontae Adams. He has the cornerback on his hip like a box. He's boxing him out like basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, at the end of the day, you still like your matchup with Mercedes Lewis is a big guy, and he's on a little small DB. But again, you have to have protection. Look at the good protection, and that's what that action does as well, Tom. All that movement in the back slows the rush down. Remember, they're playing goal line, so they don't have a bunch of pass rush specialists in. So you try to pass when they bring in, you know, the big heavy package, because they don't have a lot of athletes out there. And when they have a lot of athletes out there, you try to run the football.
Mm-hmm.
That's how easy it is to put together a game plan. Now, you don't know if it'll work, but what made this work is because Mercedes Lewis got up on 29 and really blocked him. And when you're blocking a guy, you just hope he peeps in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got him.
And here is
That's
the
perfect.
touchdown.
Perfect.
Yep.
And
And
I
you just,
saw it up on scripted plays on a card all week for the scout team.
yeah, and you just see how many guys are bunched right in here.
Yeah, that's a good.
And he's all alone.
Look at him looking like, where'd this guy come from?
Yeah. So really nice looking play.
Yep, it really was.
Got to give him credit. All right. So now we'll go to the flip side. My turn.
Go to your side.
Yep. We're going to go to a defensive play that occurred. So this is actually pretty early in the game, and it's 2nd and 7, and the Packers have their what's essentially a nickel defense because Chandon Sullivan is in the game, and he is right here. But they've got Zadarius Smith in the middle, sort of as a nose tackle. And the 49ers have 3 wide receivers and a tight end.
And look how the guys are bunched. See, they're bunched. Even at short splits.
Yeah, what does that mean?
And remember, we had Tunyon. He was in the same spot as this tight end dwelling. Yeah. Same thing. So it's pretty much the same thing. But the reason why they bring you the bunch in here so you can't jam these guys, they can get a pretty good release. If they want to run the ball, they get good release so they can block, you know, linebackers or defensive backs. But the main thing is that I later found out that offenses like to do these bunch routes is they can get clean releases to really get on your safeties quick, your linebackers. That's the reason, because if they're out wide out there, you can see it coming. You know, it's easy to defend. Or if this guy down here maybe he was out here. But when you bring it in tight and you run in like that, it puts a lot of stress on the defense.
Okay. Now, a thing to remember as we move forward is that the first down is right here.
Yep.
So keep that in mind. Okay. That wasn't a very straight line.
No, that's okay.
All right. Now.
Remember where that line is. You can still see it.
Yes. So what we got here is Oren Burks at the top to the left and Chris Barnes to the right. Yep. And then we've got the receiver, one of the receivers clearing out the middle. So right. What are we looking at here from a defensive standpoint as to where the strengths and weaknesses are?
Well, the strength is that you got 4 guys underneath. You got a corner, you got a linebacker, and you have a corner, and you got 2 deep safeties. So you really have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys deep, pretty much. You got everything covered. But there is a weakness in this defense, and this is a cover 2 defense. The weakness is in the middle. You have to protect that middle. So you don't go for the old banana in the tailpipe, And I think one of the biggest things with young players, sometimes you can get them on, if you bait them, you can get them to really pretty much release their responsibility. So stress is on Chris Barnes because he has a guy standing right in front of him, Tom, and he's saying to himself, wait a minute, now the first down is right here. So I'm going to go up and stop him short of the first down. But what he's doing by doing that, Tom, he's going to pretty much void the zone and create that opening. And they're going to run what we call a dagger play. They run a guy straight through the defense as a decoy, and the other guy comes outside and comes all the way in.
What is his key here as to whether he should continue to drop back or come up and cover this guy?
If there's one in front of you, it's one behind you. That's just a rule of thumb.
Okay.
If one in front of you is one behind you. And you never leave, and you always play it deep to short, Tom. You always play it deep to short. Because, okay, worst case, this guy catches it. We all rally up and tackle him and say maybe he gets the first down. That's fine. But what you don't do is give up an explosion play over 43 yards.
Right. Yep. Okay. So now we'll look at it from up top.
There it is. That's a perfect picture. Although, and I bet you in the coaching meeting, they're going to say this guy is open.
Yeah.
A quarterback can make that throw.
So this is the first down right here.
The first down, right? Yep, there.
Okay.
There's the check down.
But we can see from his body language where he's leaning, Chris Barnes, right?
Yep. Good point.
This way. So where do you think he should be at this juncture of the play?
Oh, he should be sitting right about there. He should be there. Owen Burks is fine. And Jair needs to be a little bit deeper right there. Remember, you play it deep to short.
Yeah.
If this guy catches it, then it's no problem. We all just rally up and tackle him.
Now, Josh Jackson,
his throw could be made NFL quarterback as well.
Yeah. At least though Amos has his eyes here, right? Yeah. And so does Savage. So if it's not a really good throw, he's got a chance at picking that off, right?
Exactly.
But okay, so let's look at Josh Jackson, and he appears like, so he's got that outside technique, and he's at least got an eye on the receiver. Over here, Alexander's just staring at the quarterback. Should he be in the same stance?
Absolutely. He should be deeper. He should be deeper right about here, because this is a throw. You can make that throw.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, now you're in a chase, but you don't want to do that. So that's why I never liked to cover 2, because sometimes guys take it for granted and they're not real aggressive. It puts too much stress. The stress it puts on is these 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because if these guys gonna be up in that bunch look, you got to go up there and jam this guy to throw off the timing. Now, had they go all the way back to 1 real quick for me, Tom, real quick, to number 1. Now, if you come up here and jam this guy, okay, now he can't even run the clear out route. It throws it off.
Right.
He doesn't have a clean release for them to run this particular play. But when you play, this far off, it gives the guys clean releases. That thing happened. Now, if Jair would have at the bottom, come up here on this guy and jam him inside, and then sink out. This guy got to work his way all the way back. He's out of the route.
Okay.
So they may think about being a little bit more aggressive in their alignment.
Okay, so now we go to the throw and where everybody is at the time of the reception.
Yep.
And boy, is that a big hole in the middle of this defense.
Yep. And that, anytime a quarterback sees your name is not a good thing. That's not a good thing if the quarterback can see your name.
Yep.
You're chasing. You got to be like this coming down to make this play. But again, you got to Barnes, he did not have a good game in the play action. They got to work on him with that because you're going to see the same plays when he's in play action.
You were saying he should be about right here. He would have a chance to drop then a little bit more.
Oh, no question. And one thing you can do by him doing that, he'll make this ball elevate a little bit. It may be an overthrow. I've seen that happen in that window.
Okay. And well, now we're just going to sort of see how this thing plays out, which is not good because not only did they give him the reception, which is right here. I mean, you couldn't be any more wide open in the NFL.
Right.
But off he goes running, and he winds up with, what was a 43-yard gain?
Yeah, 43 yards.
He's going to come all the way through here. And Amos makes a touchdown-saving tackle over there.
Right.
So, yeah, not their best defense.
No, especially on those two. They had a couple plays. They had another screen pass. Guys were they take the wrong angles. And the guy, if you take the wrong angles on the screen, well, we saw what happened against Dalvin Cook, the 50-yard touchdown. But it took another bad angle on James again.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's it just occurred to me was, Tampa, the old Tampa under Tony Dungy played this, but they could play it because their 4-man rush was so good.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
I mean, you were in the quarterback's face. They were in the quarterback's face really quickly.
Yep, that's true.
And this is a long developing play, right?
Yeah, and then Hardy Nickerson, who played the middle linebacker,
right,
always deep. Like Chris Barnes would come up. No, he was back 25 yards deep down the middle. Sort of what Kendricks did against, remember they sent Devontae Adams down the middle?
Yeah.
Minnesota and Kendricks ran.
Yep.
I mean, that's the weakness of the defense, the middle. See, he didn't jump up like Chris Barnes did. So that's a lesson for Chris Barnes. If there's one in front of you, there's definitely one behind you. Play it deep and short. Not only will you get more interceptions, but you'll help your brother out because the quarterback will throw it over your head and he'll overthrow it. He'll throw a rat to Savage or Amos. Well, they got to catch it, but that's
that's another thing altogether. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see next time they play cover 2. We'll see whether and I'm sure Jacksonville will run a route similar to that. Test them out.
Now that kid,
he can fly.
He can get deep on you. So if he catches it, it's out the gate.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
We'll have to see.
Yeah. Be interesting. Okay. And once again, you've got some sponsors you want to thank?
Yeah, we thank the Jury Center, of course, Ivanhoe Pub and Eatery in Racine, GameDayBrats.com, my new brats, Pick and Save, of course, the best grocers in the world to me. And you can get a copy of Max and Junkyard Dog Meet a Rascal, as well as one of the best anti-bullying books.
Okay, good. And don't forget to join us after the game on Sunday about 4:15, and we'll be with you then and breaking down all the action, and maybe we'll be breaking down one of these plays again.
Absolutely.
Yep. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Bye.